Welcome back to Battle 101. We are here today because yesterday, the Silph Arena tournament, they announced a new cup and it's called the Nightmare Cup. Ooh. Anyway,
Early October now.
yeah, it's
It's Halloween in April.
Mhm.
I know, it's May.
All right, so for this Nightmare Cup, we are allowed to use Psychic, Fighting, and Dark types.
Yes. And this is the first cup that has a ban list.
So you're not allowed to use Legendaries, Medicham, and Sableye.
And mythicals. Because a mythical that I was aching to use during these Team Cup
Is Deoxys?
No, Mew.
Oh, Mew. Okay.
Actually, Deoxys is also a mythical, but Mew is a great Pokemon, but sadly, you cannot use it on the Nightmare Cup.
We are here to discuss the potential best Pokemon that you can use for this cup.
These are just initial thoughts, initial overviews. We have not yet a deep dive yet, a very deep dive on each of the meta Pokemon. But this is just a sort of a small splash.
A quick overview.
The initial thoughts on the Nightmare Cup meta.
As always, Ysmael is right here with me, and I'm here to learn from him because I'm the noob and he's the expert. Take it away, Ysma.
Okay, now, another great tool for these types of analysis is the site that we've mentioned earlier and all of our earlier videos, which is PV Poke. PV Poke is a great tool for checking each of the Pokemon's analysis, each of the Pokemon's potential. And if we look at the site right now and select Nightmare Cup, which is already available in the site, we'll see that the top Pokemon is surprisingly Spiritomb.
Ooh.
Which is weird, but it also explains why Sableye is banned. Sableye, with its Ghost and Dark typing, it can hit all of the 3 types available. It can hit Psychic, it can hit Fighting, it can hit Dark, and it is also safe from all these types. But the reason why Spiritomb is not banned is because it doesn't have great moves.
That's why.
It has a laughably bad moveset. It has all dark fast moves and all ghost charge moves.
Weird.
Yeah, we're not talking about Spiritomb, we're talking about the
Possible
meta Pokemon. Let's talk about the meta analysis.
Go.
Right now, the meta, I'm not kidding, the meta looks like this.
Okay, so this is weird to look at, but we're just seeing a chart that goes around, which is Psychic, Dark to Fighting. Yeah, explain why this is the supposed chart for Nightmare Cup.
It's because, first of all, fighting types are great in the meta. But almost every fighting type is going to struggle with the best fast move for the psychic types is Confusion. The only one that has a neutral to psychic types is Lucario. And even him struggles a bit. Even though he wins against psychic types because of its Shadow Ball, because of its bulk, it will only have it has a little HP left when it fights psychic types. So Lucario is not a hard counter for a psychic type. Another one of those fighting types that should be neutral against psychic types is Gallade. Gallade, on the other hand, has no good fast fighting types. So it's basically considered just a psychic type because it has Confusion. It also has Leaf Blade. It's not really a fighting type. So that's an exception for them. So fighting types will definitely struggle against psychic types. That's why fighting types in general will have a hard time against Confusion. On the other hand, dark types, as much as they soak up that Confusion, because of how good fighting types is, how good counter is, how good power up punch is, how good fighting types in general are, they will definitely have a hard time on fighting types. The only one that wouldn't have a hard time is Spiritomb. Has bad moves if we remember what we mentioned earlier. The only dark types that would have an sort of good time against fighting types are the Poison Darks, which is Alolan Muk, Skuntank, and Drapion. All of them are just neutral to fighting. They are actually one of the best dark types in the meta because they all of them have their niche. Drapion has infestation, which means it can hit both dark and psychic types. Plus it charges fast. And the best of them is for me, I think the best of them is Alolan Muk, which is the only Pokemon in the meta that can use Acid Spray.
Ooh.
Which is a debuff move which is useful especially on this type of meta where everything is hard walled, everything is hard countered. So
Sige lang, okay lang.
why did it lose?
Sige, ako na lang. Okay lang. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Go. Look at this. I evolved my Scorpy. So I evolved my Scorpy for the first time since it's gonna be a good contender. Yes?
Yes.
Mhm.
I'm not sure if it's going to be the best ever because of Alolan Muk getting the Poison Dark slot. But yeah, I will try to use Drapion. Another good dark type is Umbreon, of course, Umbreon.
With Last Resort, yes.
Yes, with Last Resort. And also because we're doing hard counters, you should not forget Raticate.
Oh.
Alolan Raticate is a good dark type, especially since most psychic types would like to have a ghost type charge move. Speaking of psychic types, the best psychic types in the meta are Hypno.
It should have a legacy move, yes?
Yes, it should have either Psyshock or Shadow Ball. The other ones, there is a toss-up between Claydol, which is a bulky psychic type, but it doesn't have that much useful psychic type charge moves. Gallade, which is a passable psychic type, because it's not weak to dark types. There are many psychic types, to be honest. Alolan Raichu, which is a psychic type that doesn't have a good psychic type moves as well. It would have to stick to its electric type moves, which is sort of good because Poliwrath is also another good fighting type that has power up punch. If you have the Mud Shot, it's a great counter to those poison dark types. Bronzong and Metagross, the steel psychic types. Bronzong and Metagross, the problem with them is they have a neutral matchup against fighting types, which is bad because, again, if you have neutral matchup against fighting types which are good attackers, it's not going to be good. It's better to have a resistance, just in single.
But which one is better? Is it Bronzong or is it Metagross?
If you want a more defensive Pokemon, Bronzong is the way to go. It has Gyro Ball, it has Confusion. Metagross doesn't have Confusion. It does have the Meteor
Mash.
Garden Mash.
Weird reference, but okay.
Claydol is not that highly ranked in PvPoke, but something that is an interesting pick is Wobbuffet.
Oh, yeah, a lot of people have Wobbuffets.
Wobbuffet, it's simple to have a Wobbuffet because it only learns, I think, one charge move if I'm not mistaken, and it's Mirror Coat, which is already good. It learns two fast moves, Counter and Splash. Of course, it'll be Counter. With those, it can hit dark types, but because it doesn't have that much attack, it won't deal as much. It has Mirror Coat, which is a fast charging, fast deploying charge move. But the problem with Wobbuffet is that it has almost non-existent offensive presence, but a very, very huge HP stat.
That's something to keep in mind.
Yeah, there are a lot of options. Satu, I forgot Satu. Satu, because of its flying type, it has a double resistance to fighting types. But the problem with Satu is that it's not really that bulky. But if you should use one, you could have Air Slash, Ominous Wind, and Aerial Ace. It doesn't have Confusion, sadly. That's a problem, I think.
Weird that a psychic type like Zato does not have a Confusion.
Oh yeah, we forgot something on the fighting type edge. There is another region exclusive that can make a dent in the meta. Heracross is a bug typing, and
It's good for psychic.
Yeah, exactly. But the problem is, it has the Lucario problem of being a total grass cannon. So it won't even have a chance to use Mega Horn against Psychic type. Slowbro is also a good mention. It has a decent defenses. It has Ice Beam. I don't know if you could use that. And finally, before we wrap up our meta, which is mostly just spitball and Pokemon,
We'll do a roundup in the end.
Shiftry. Shiftry is one of the few Razor Leaf users. The best fast type move. But the problem is because it's dark type, it would fall so hard against fighting types. Against psychic types, which some of them are Slowbro, Starmie, Slowking, Claydol, which are weak against grass types. It's usable. I guess that's it. There are lots of good options. We have yet to single out the meta right now.
So yeah, let's do a quick roundup. So what are the best 2 fighting types? Go.
Best 2 fighting types in my opinion is Toxicroak and Lucario, but with a tie with Poliwrath and Hitmonchan. There are many good fighting types. You can only choose 2. You shouldn't.
I am limiting you. Okay, top 2 types for psychic types. Go.
Psychic types easily Hypno, the first one. The second one is a toss-up between Claydol and Claydol and Bronzong, but I would choose Alolan Raichu.
Weird, okay, but okay. Top 2 dark types, go.
Top 2 dark types easily Alolan Muk and Drapion.
All right,
but I wouldn't fault you if you chose Umbreon. I wouldn't fault you if you use Alolan Raticate. I would fault you if you use Mightyena, but
it's up to you. And yeah, I think that's it.
That is it for the initial thoughts on the Nightmare Cup. What do you think, guys, would you use? Are you bummed out that we didn't even mention why they banned Medichan? No, I think we mentioned that.
No, we mentioned it, and it's because they're probably gonna be OP. So that has been it. I hope you learned something. I hope you use this info so you can create a better Nightmare Cup team.
And that has been it for Battle 101. Class dismissed.
All right.